Previously, I've shown you how to set up the A target, set the length of the legs and measure the bores. These happen to be 4-inch bores, but to repeat, we have an A-514A, we have an A-514B, and we have an A-514C. The 514A will fit bores 3.75 inches to 6.75. At 6.5 to 17.5 inches for 514B, 17 inches to 40 inches for the 514C. Starting with the 514B, let's say that I measured the bore with the calipers and I had an 8-inch bore. Okay, I know because that's over 6.75 inches, I know I need the A514B. So I would set my calipers at 4 inches. Now also, if you bought all three, the package with the C, you're going to get the longer gauge. The longer gauge, you're going to have the post in the closest position for the A514A and the A514B. Setting up the A514C for bores up to 24 inches, it'll still be here. Anything over 24 inches, this post will have to be moved back here, and we'll have an extension, I believe it's a 6-inch extension that we'll use. I've set this up for an 8-inch bore, so I'm going to set my leg lengths at 4 inches. So we're going to basically set the stop the same way. Okay, so we set this at 4 inches for an 8-inch bore. Now, I know because this starts at 6.5 that I'm going to need the shorter legs. If I didn't know which legs it required, I could actually turn this into position. Now, I also haven't mentioned that there's 3 positions in the face of this for the dowel pin. We're going to want this in the middle position for the larger bore. There's 3, one closer, one in the middle, one farther this way. So the bigger the adapter, the farther away from the center line here it has to be. So I could place this on here, and again, if I didn't know which leg I needed, I could just grab one, and I know I want to be past this first bolt. As long as it fits in past that first bolt and it doesn't extend into here, that's the leg I need. Okay, just like with the A514A adapter, we take it off and we flip it over, so these are now on the bottom. And okay, now we'll insert the target. Again, the dowel pin goes in the slot of the target. Apply the handle. And now the target's set up to measure 8-inch bore. Okay, I've demonstrated how to assemble or put the legs in the A514A adapter and the A514B adapter. So we'll move on and look at the A514C adapter. The assembly is a little bit more complex than the other two. The other two we just need to basically set the leg length, put the legs in and set the length. The A514C adapter is in 2 pieces. So we have to put these pieces together. Now, when we look at these, there's a hole that comes in from each side. So on the opposite piece where these fit together, there's going to be a small tapped hole and another recessed hole so it comes in. So we want this hole to line up with the tapped hole. So when I put this together like this, then I'll put the bolt in and tighten this bolt. Now these don't have to be torqued. All you gotta do is go down and touch and snug up. So they're very small bolts, so they'll break real easy, so be careful. And then come in from the other side. And now this is snugged up, so it's firm. So now, because from when I put this on the gauge, this extends down below the surface. So I really need to put what we call a donut on here. So we space this up, so this will clear the bottom. Now if I wanted to set this up, again, I would measure the bore with the calipers or an inside micrometer. And if I determine that the bore is 20 inches, then I'm going to set this gauge up for a 20-inch bore. So that would be a 10-inch radius. So I'm going to set my calipers for 10 inches. And we'll set the gauge the same way we did with the other ones, just a different dimension. Okay, now I'll put the gauge on here. And I want to put the dowel pin into this hole back here so I have a place to bump the leg up against. And slide this leg in. Bring it in until it touches. Again, we don't need to over tighten these. And just like with the A-514A adapter and A-514B adapter, we take it off and turn it around. Okay, now I've set the length of the legs. I'm going to put the target in, just like we did in the other two. So the pin fits into the slot. Okay, the A-514C adapter has one additional step from the A-514A adapter and A-514B adapter. Because it's so large, we need a counterweight on there. The handle just isn't enough to hold this large adapter in. So the adapter has two recessed holes in here, and we use these two posts that are threaded on the end, or they're set screws in here. And we're going to screw these posts into the A-514C adapter. And then we have a brace, or a bracket I should say, that will hold the counterweight. And we're going to slide this down on. And there's a set screw in here that we have to tighten for the post, for the counterweight. So we want to put that on here. And either way, it doesn't matter which way it goes. We'll slide this down and tighten these thumb screws. And this is the counterweight. So we're going to slide this post down in here. Okay. Tighten the set screw, and we can slide the counterweight onto the post. And now we're ready to insert it into a bore. Now the thing you have to be aware of here is these legs are offset. They're offset. So this 514C adapter has a level on the top and the bottom. we want to make sure that the legs that are farther forward go into on the top. The ones that are to the bottom, to the rear, go on the bottom. So we insert it into the bore, and the counterweight will tip this back and hold it into the bore into position. So this is set up now for a 20-inch bore, so I have 10-inch legs. That completes the A-514C adapter.